It all began with a careless remark over dinner. Amanda was idly twirling the stem of her wine glass, her face calm but her eyes sharp and deliberate. "I've been doing some thinking," she said in a tone that was meant to sound casual. "I want something more." I paused mid-slice of my steak, my brow lifting slightly. "Something more," I echoed. "Excitement," she replied, a faint smile tugging at the corners of her mouth. "With other men." Her words landed heavy, like a brick straight to my chest. My appetite vanished instantly, but I managed to keep my composure. I'd heard of couples experimenting with open relationships, but this wasn't a conversation. It was a declaration. "Excitement?" I repeated, placing my fork gently on the table. "And what exactly do you mean by that, Amanda?" She didn't meet my eyes. There was no shame, only a flicker of rebellion. "I love you, Andrew, but life's too short. I want to explore." It sounded like she was talking about booking a spontaneous trip to some exotic place, not unraveling our vows. I swallowed hard. "And you thought springing this on me at dinner was the best approach?" I asked, voice calm but firm. She took another sip of wine, unapologetic. "I'm just being honest. Isn't that what we always said we'd be?" Her nonchalance was staggering. I could have erupted in anger, flipped the table even. But I didn't. Instead, I offered a slow nod, keeping my thoughts locked behind a carefully constructed mask. "You're right, Amanda. Honesty matters." Relief spread across her face like she'd just won something. She had no idea what was coming. For the next few days, I played along, the picture of a supportive, open-minded husband. I listened as she spoke about her newfound freedom, even while the anger inside me simmered just beneath the surface. But anger without direction is just noise. I needed something sharper, so I started planning. Amanda had always treated her social media like an art gallery, carefully selecting every picture, every caption. I'd never paid much attention before, but now I studied it like a blueprint. I looked through her likes, her followers, the men who left those slightly too friendly comments. One name appeared again and again: Ryan. He was an old colleague. I remembered him from a company gathering. A guy drenched in cologne and self-confidence. The kind who posted shirtless gym photos with hashtags like #NoPainNoGain. I disliked him instantly. Now I had a reason to go deeper. Using a fake profile, I began messaging him while pretending to be Amanda. He took the bait immediately, responding with the kind of enthusiasm that turned my stomach. Still, I pressed on, steering the conversation toward flirtation, then beyond. Within days, I had exactly what I needed: screenshots of him, making it crystal clear they'd been more than just friends. He couldn't wait to see her again. That evening, I found Amanda sprawled on the sofa, scrolling mindlessly on her phone. She didn't even look up when I spoke. "We need to talk." She glanced up, annoyed. "What now?" I tossed my phone onto the coffee table. The screen lit up with Ryan's messages, explicit and damning. Her face drained of color. How did you find out?" I cut in sharply. "Does it matter? While I've been here trying to build something real, you've been throwing it away. For this loser." She looked lost. "It's not what you think." I laughed bitterly. "It's exactly what I think. But don't worry, I've handled it." Fear flickered in her eyes. "What do you mean?" I leaned in, my tone icy. "I sent the messages to Ryan's wife and his employer. And for good measure, I made sure our friends and family saw them too." She gasped. "You didn't." "I did. And that's not all. Tomorrow, I'm meeting with a divorce lawyer." Her mouth opened, but no words came. "You want excitement? You'll have it. Just not with me." The consequences came fast. Ryan's wife left him almost immediately, and his job? Gone. Amanda's carefully built online persona was torched in a matter of hours. The people who used to praise her posts now questioned everything. Her phone blew up with messages and judgment. She tried to backpedal, begged me to talk. But I didn't reply. I'd made my choice. A week later, I packed up and moved out. The house we once shared? I left it to her along with the mortgage. If she wanted freedom, she could finance it herself. Time moved on. I poured my energy into things that actually mattered: work, personal projects, and the friends who stayed loyal. Amanda, meanwhile, faced the full consequences of her choices. Her job eventually let her go. The rumors followed her everywhere. Ryan hadn't been worth it after all. Then, something unexpected happened. I found a new direction, born from the wreckage she'd left behind. I joined a support group where people shared their own stories of betrayal. The pain, the healing. It lit a spark in me. I started a podcast for those who'd gone through the same kind of heartbreak. Anonymous stories of betrayal, recovery, strength. Took off. Listeners connected with the raw truth of it. The show became not just my therapy, but a safe space for others, too. The community that formed was powerful. And for once, I felt like I was doing something with meaning. Amanda's life didn't recover the same way. The internet has a long memory. People talk. Whispers turned into silence. She eventually relocated to a smaller town, trying to outrun her own shadow. But you can't really run from who you are. She tried dating again. That didn't last either. Turns out trust is hard to come by when you've shattered it yourself. Meanwhile, my podcast opened doors I never imagined. Invitations to speak at events, collaborate on projects. Every time I stood before a crowd and shared my story, I felt grounded, strong, finally in control of my own narrative. Then, one day, years later, a letter came. Simple envelope. Familiar handwriting. Amanda. I almost threw it out. Curiosity stopped me. It was a single page. A sincere apology. Acknowledgement of the damage. Of the choices. But it was too late. I read it once. Then I let it go. She made her choice. I made mine. In the end, she got her excitement. Just not the kind she'd envisioned. And I got something better. Peace, purpose, and a future built on truth.